Oh, it's the current year, it's the current year, it's the current year. Oh, it's the current year. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and this is the current year of 2019. And I'm here to bring you the obvious. John Oliver's show billboards were hijacked with the NPC Orange Man Bad art. So do you remember Real Time with Bill Maher NPC billboard? This was a billboard that was changed and edited by a activist group called The Faction. And they did it to prove a point that all of these late night comedians, 1, they're all left wing, 2, they're all biased, and 3, they all attack Trump, and that they're total NPCs who all say the same things, and they push a left wing narrative. So John Current Year Oliver was the next target for The Faction. They went after his billboard. Here's a clip of it that you can see on Twitter. And as you can see, it says Orange Man Bad Show with John Oliver. Matrix approved NPC programming. And of course it has some text. Trump, Cheetos, Drumpf, bigot, etc. Here The Faction says, after we fixed at Bill Maher's billboard last month, we didn't want I Am John Oliver to feel left out. Doesn't he look better showing his true colors? And here's a video of them actually putting the NPC mask on. The billboard advertising last week tonight with John Oliver on the corner of LA Senegal Boulevard and Pico Boulevard now reads, The Orange Man Bad Show with John Oliver. It features the comedian peeking over the side as a non-playable character, or NPC. Basically, people who are such sheep that they have no real opinions, do not really think for themselves, and just follow what the narrative says. As I've mentioned before, isn't it strange how all of these supposed late-night comedians all have the same political beliefs, are all left-wing, all push the agenda, and are essentially all the same NPCs. When asked about the billboard campaign, The Faction sent TGP this statement. The recent raids in LA washed away the top layer of this billboard, revealing the truth underneath, that John Oliver is an NPC, programmed by his masters to bash Trump. Like Bill Maher, Brian Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, Trevor Token Noah, John Oliver is just one of the spigots used to spew the flood of anti-Trump hatred that HBO, Netflix, NBC, ABC, CBS, and their armies of sniveling soy boy writers are overflowing with. Oliver is the same Trump derangement syndrome sufferer as Bill Maher and his commie patriots, but with an English accent. There's no problem for the clapping seals in his audience. They are thought slaves, who also believe that there was a discernible difference between the two parties and that Hillary was somehow going to have different policies than Jeb. They can't stand that Trump's victories revealed that Coke and Pepsi were, in fact, the same garbage. We hear that David Spade is entering the late-night arena. If he only makes 90% anti-Trump jokes per episode instead of the requisite of 100%, dictated by the pedophiles and rapists at the tippy top of the Hollywood trash pile, he will be a breakout hit. But given that actors are only capable of pretending to be brave in movies and TV shows, in which their actual safety is guaranteed by stuntmen, he may have trouble getting guests if he's deemed too patriotic and pro-Trump. Coincidentally, a right-wing artist named Sabo also had his own little piece of activism. Here it shows Jussie Smollett in a MAGA hat saying, "This is MAGA country." And you can also see another poster called Black Prankster. So aside from being absolutely hilarious, why is it that John Oliver is such an NPC? Why is it that he spouts all of the same talking points as the other NPCs and all these NPC late-night comedians? He's a part of the huge left-wing media. They are nothing but puppets and dogs to their masters, the corrupt establishment. And to really examine why John Oliver is such an NPC, let's take a little look at his show.
All employees who work in open plan offices. I would take a fucking beaded curtain just so I don't have to directly observe Carol clip her nails. Do it at home, Carol! This year, one particular wall has gotten a lot of our attention.
I will build a great, great wall on our southern border.
That's a Trump wall, beautiful wall.
I will build the greatest wall that you've ever seen. If they ever put my name on, I want a gorgeous wall. You know? The Trump wall, oh, will that be a beautiful wall?
Yes, Donald Trump wants to build a wall on the US-Mexican border, and based on his tone, he also wants to f*** that wall.
Nah, it would just freak him out. Listen, before we leave...
The only group of people more excited about barriers are high school health teachers. Oh, that's right, cool guys and cool gals. When you're horny, there is nothing better than a good dental dam. It feels exactly the same.
So as you can plainly tell, this show, it's really not subtle, is it? Play a bunch of out-of-context clips, insert a laugh track to mock your political opponent,
Whoa.
and pretend like your jokes are actually good.
Whoa.
I want to read a post from Hacker 4chan about John Oliver, because I believe it perfectly reflects what makes him such an NPC. The subject of John Oliver came up when a colleague, fellow psychologist, and I were discussing politics a few months ago. Although we were both in agreement regarding the general shitlib inanity of the HBO show, my friend was surprised when I explained that the real insidiousness of it is its unmistakably hypnotic structure and pacing. I ended up pulling up an episode or two off of YouTube to show her what I meant. All the segments I've ever seen from the show follow the same repetitive format. Present some argumentation and facts for about 10 seconds, then quickly follow these up with a snarky clip, which themselves overwhelmingly take the form of a complete non sequitur or otherwise absurd metaphor, before any rational processing of the preceding argument can take place in the mind of the viewer. Further telling is that the only beats or mental pauses in the show's pacing exist solely to highlight the approving laughter or applause of the studio audience. Repeat this basic formula without variation 20 to 40 times in a row, and you have one of the 12 to 20 minute segments that form the backbone of the show. The end effect is obviously not to deliver information, but rather to literally teach the viewers, on a subconscious level, to mentally associate derisive laughter with any person or opinion that is at odds with the narrative's take on the chosen issue. And it accomplishes this by maintaining a strict adherence to a roughly 20-second cycle, in which a stimulus is presented and a response is cued. This is the sense in which the show is fundamentally hypnotic in effect, even more so than its precursors in the genre, The Daily Show, Colbert, etc. To my mind, Oliver's show is a representative of the media's increasing mastery of the methodologies of mass conditioning. In fact, it is almost such a perfect technical accomplishment that I would almost have to admire it on technical grounds, which moreover is in the hands of the entirely wrong people. So, to put all that simply, these late night shows, especially a show like John Oliver's, are specifically designed to push a narrative in an unsuspecting person's brain, and it's delivered in such a way that you fundamentally associate laughter and mockery with your political opponents and opinions they don't like. Let's take a look at the clip again, and I'll show you a perfect example.
You know? The Trump wall, oh, will that be a beautiful wall?
Yes, Donald Trump...
I will build a great, great wall on our southern border. That's a Trump wall, beautiful wall. I will build the greatest wall that you've ever seen. If they ever put my name on, I want a gorgeous wall. You know?
They literally just show Trump talking about a wall. And this is out of context. This is just him talking about one of his policy proposals, what he's trying to do now, which is build a wall, build a barrier. And they add laughter. Now, is there anything funny about what he's saying? No, there's not. There's literally no humor. There's no joke. But they put that laughter, and they put it specifically to mock Trump, to mock anyone who might believe and have the same opinions. It is absolutely programming. NPC programming, in fact. I mean, take a look at this channel last week tonight. It has 6 million subscribers. This video alone has 19 million views. Now, does this quality programming really deserve that much views? Does it really deserve that many subscribers? I really want you to think about this. This is YouTube. This is where people and YouTubers go to get away from television, away from the mainstream, away from the narrative. And yet, here we are. Late night comedians who push the left-wing narrative have priority status on YouTube. They can say whatever they want, do whatever they want, and they will never be demonetized. They will never suffer any consequences. So let me ask ask you folks, isn't it strange how the mainstream left seems to push all of these unfunny and pathetic late night shows and pathetic comedians, all saying the same things, all pushing the same narrative? It's not strange at all when you consider that the establishment, they want people to be anti-Trump, to bash everything he does, because that's the programming. Because the truth is, folks, Trump is a threat to the corrupt establishment. He's a threat to the corrupt media. This is the real reason they want to stop him. This is the real reason they all bash Trump. That's the truth of it. And that's what makes them all NPCs, because they all just repeat the same things, pushing the same agenda. But that's merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. Let me know what you think about John Current Year Oliver. Do you like the poster? Do you disagree with the idea all of these late night shows are really just programming to program the NPCs and sheep to follow the left-wing narrative and agenda? Be sure to let me know. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.
Whoa.